And Bob Graham, where we are awaiting the start of tonight's ball game between the Princeton Tigers, rated number six in the AP poll this week in the state of West Virginia, going against the Flying Eagles of Woodrow Wilson High School. We got some special people we'll be talking to during our pregame interview, and we'll be back to listen to some of those special comments when we return right after this. We're back at the Raleigh County National Guard Armory. We were disputing some facts there, but we're back now. Like I said before, we got some special guests we're going to be talking to in the pregame show, and we're going to go ahead and let them talk to you now and let you give a listen to.
I'm Justin Schrader, and I'm a senior and play forward on the Princeton Tigers basketball team. Like I said, my mom and dad, and my Chief and Brenda. So, my name's Stefan Murray, and I'm a junior this year, and I'm a forward on this year's Tiger basketball team. And I'd like to say hello to my brother, Sal.
Hello, my name is James Dewitt. I'm a sophomore. I play forward for this team, and I'd like to say hello to my family and all the friends on the hill. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jeff St. Clair. I'm a junior. I play point guard on this year's Tiger team, and I'd like to say hello to my mother, my father, my little brother Sean, and Joey Winter.
Hello, my name is Jim Magic Miller. I'm a pivot. I'm a junior this year, and I'd like to say hello to my dad, John Lambert, and Carl Bay Wright.
Hello, my name is Michael Early. I'm a guard on this year's Princeton Tiger basketball team. I'm a junior. I'd like to say hello to my mom, Russ, my father, my stepmom in Giles County, my brothers and sisters, and both my grandparents.
Hello, my name's John Hansbarger III. I'm a senior on this year's Princeton Tiger basketball team. I'm also a guard. My nickname's Cheese. I'd like to say hello to my whole family.
And that was some members of the Princeton High School Tiger basketball team. We're awaiting the start of tonight's ball game between the Princeton Tigers and the Beckley Flying Eagles. And we'll be back with more of tonight's pregame show when we return right after this. Back at the Raleigh County Armory, I've got Bob Graham alongside and Glenn May. And Bob, I believe you've got some things you want to review right now.
Well, I sure do. And there's a couple things I want to mention is that this Friday night, Princeton closes out its regular season against Greenbury Spartans, a team that the Princeton lost to early in the season. And so far, Princeton has avenged all five of its losses, splitting with those five teams that have beaten Princeton.
Greenbury,
except for East, and they play East this Friday night. In terms of statistics on the season and season records, Princeton, of course, is 14-5 on the season. They're ranked 6th in the AP poll that came out this week. Of course, that did not include the loss to North Fork last Friday night over at the Armory. In terms of team statistics for Princeton's shooting 75% at the foul line as a team. They've scored 1,347 points on the season through 19 games, a 70.9 average. Their opponents have scored 1,160 points for a 61.6 average. And so Princeton's coming out about 9 points better than the opposition in terms of scoring through 19 games this season. Individual statistics, Jimmy Miller's averaging 77% from the foul line. He's
Jim Magic Miller.
And, I'll have to get the cheese a little later here. And he's scoring at 22.4 points per game. Mike Eves is hitting 74%. Mike Earl Eves is hitting 74% from the foul line and 15.5 points average per game. Jeff St. Clair is hitting 80% from the foul line, averaging 9.1 points per game. James DeWitt is hitting 73% from the foul line, and a very respectable for sophomore 12.5 scoring average. John Hansbarger III is hitting 88% from the line. Of course, he's only been at the foul line 16 of 20 from the foul line, and he's averaging 2.4 points per game. And that's respectable for him in that there were 3 or 4 games that he did not get into at all, so that hurt his season average. Stefan Murray is hitting 51% from the foul line, and he's averaging 3.7 points per game. In terms of the Beckley Flying Eagles, Princeton's lost to Beckley in the first meeting on December 27th at Princeton, 55-51. In that game, Edmonds had 13 points, Jeff Hogg 17, and Ronnie Kidd had 13. Ronnie Kidd sort of stole the show in that first game. Goodson had 8 points in the first game. The second meeting between Princeton and Beckley, Princeton won 70-68. Boggs had 11 points. Jones had 19. Ronnie Kidd had 12, and Green had 14. In that second game, Beckley got some help from a player who was eligible starting in the second semester, and that was the Jones boy with 19 points. Since that time, Jones has come on and has a respectable scoring average up through this point of 18.1 points per game. And we will pause for just a few for these messages.
Back to Raleigh County Armory. I've got dear old Dad alongside, and we want to welcome him aboard for whatever it's worth. Good evening.
I'm driving.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We want to wish a special hello back hitting weight to pretty Miss Ann Metter. And we hope she's feeling a little bit better this evening. She's under the influence of the flu.
We sure miss Ann up in the crow's nest tonight, don't we?
Well, I'm telling you, it's a long way down. I know that.
Sure make those eyes sparkle. And everybody wishes you well. All the members of the team added their comments that we're to pass on to you, and hope that you're feeling better, and hope to see you back with us very soon. And especially I'd like to see you back Friday night when the Spartans come in to take on the Tigers. We're just a moment or so away from tip-off as the Tigers coming back on the floor at the Raleigh County Armory. We're situated at the north end of the auditorium and high above the backboard, looking right down at the rim. And Bob, the paint has worn off the top edge of that rim.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are looking at right down on it. It's not the best place that seniors should have to watch a ball game because we're a long ways from the south goal, and we are directly over the basket, and I have to sort of lean over to see the inbound blocker that's in the
That VA speaker could infringe on your vision down that other bucket.
Yes, it could. It sure could, especially for you since you're standing up back there.
Well, I guess that most of the time anyway.
Well, that's what the statistician for the Princeton team said a while ago. Chunky sort of indicated that we kind of guessed an awful lot of them.
Well, of course, you know, when you think about Chunky now, don't ever confuse him with facts, poor old fella. One thing about Chunky and these guys, they do take their ribbing and kidding in good stead. We appreciate them very much for that. The Tigers would like to get this streak moving and move their record up to about 15-5 on the season right here tonight and get the momentum started because they've got Greenbrier East and they move right into the sectional tournament, and it's very important they get that momentum. And we're going to be back with tonight's ball game. First, we're going to pause for this message. Good evening, and we bid you welcome to the Raleigh National Guard Armory, where the Tigers in to take on the Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagles. I'm Glenn Bay. We've got Craig on the shot chart and Bob on the scorebook. And we're going to be ready for basketball. And right now they're introducing the starting lineup for the Tigers. Introducing Mike Eads. Mike goes out. Mike has come on real strong for the Tigers as a junior. And has developed into a real steady, heady type ball player. And the point guard, Jeff St. Clair, and Jeff is a hard-nosed ball player that is willing to stick his nose in anywhere for basketballs in there. And, of course, the wheelhouse of the outfit, that's Jimmy Miller. He works down deep. If they get that ball to him down low, we just stop it on the book. And at the forward positions, and a cool hand look of the outfit, that's James DeWitt. And the guy who keeps everybody loose, Mr. Loose on the team, Mr. Stephon Murray. A fine starting lineup, all of them underclassmen, all of them be back next year. Coached by Coach Ralph Ball, who is in his 20th season at Princeton, assisted, very capable by the very personable Bruce Hinthorn. And, of course, Bruce coming to us from the junior high, of course, Concord, and up at North Parkway. He's been familiar with that Princeton basketball program for years. Introducing the Flying Eagles, Ronnie Kidd will be that point guard. Ronnie's about 5'5", but he's like a piece of mercury to try to corner him. And they've got Dennis Goodson at center, a real high-jumping 6'2" fella. And boy, he really sails into the air. He stays up a long time. And Jeff Boggs. Now, Boggs played a very, very good ball game against us in the Christmas tournament. And we hope they can shut him down tonight. And Steve Jones. And Jones is the fellow just became eligible mid-season. He's leading the Flying Eagles in scoring over the second half of the season, averaging some 18 points a game. And Robert Green, there's a change-up in that lineup. We had not thought that Green would start tonight. We had thought that Bob Boland would start, but it will be Green. And the officials is John Giles and Bob Downey. They're from down out of the Kanawha Valley.
I understand that Downey's got near 31 years of experience in officiating rings around the Mountain State.
Well, what you say about that is that's a lot of mileage.
They're going through an awful lot of automobiles.
Yeah, he's doing that. He played a lot of turnpike tolls in his career. All right, Tigers are out there. They're in their road blues with the white trim and piping. Very sharp-looking young lads. And now the Eagles come out. They'll be in their white pipes and trimmed with the maroon.
I heard say the Tigers only got 4 people out there, but St. Clair is trying his little trickery again tonight.
Now, he's back
here underneath our goal.
Down there waiting for Jimmy to tip it down. Of course, Ronnie Kidd goes back to play defense. All right, now we're ready to go. Goodson moves in. Miller moves in. We're waiting on the official. Official moves in. Tip controlled by the Flying Eagles. Taking it off and down, laying it up good is Steve Jones. And he is fouled. That bucket is good. And the foul is called on Stefan. And Stefan picks up his first personal foul of the night. And the Flying Eagles go out on top of the Tigers 2-0. Are they going to put that on the board?
Yeah.
And Jones will have one free throw. He's on the line right now, and he's firing. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound to Miller in traffic. Jim waits for traffic to clear, gives it out to St. Clair, and Jeff will bring it to the front court for the Tigers. Jeff comes right down to the point position on the dribble. To the right side to Eads. Eads looks underneath, gives it back outside. St. Clair moves it to DeWitt on the left side. He gives it back outside, and they come to Eads on the near side, firing from 18 feet. He got the net, boy. That's a good one. Mike Eads puts it in the bottom of the net, and we've got a tie ball game as Ronnie Kidd works it to the front court for the Eagles. Moves it from left to right, and on the dribble, picks up his dribble now. To the left side with it to Boggs. Boggs holds it high overhead, looks underneath, and almost had a travel there, but no whistle, gives it back outside to Kidd. Ronnie moves it to the right side to Green. Green drops it in the post. To Goodson, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound pulled down by Miller. Miller out to DeWitt. James into the front court with the ball. Accelerates out to the top of the key. Puts it back outside. To Eads on the left side. Goes to the baseline. Fires. Good. Mike Eads puts the Tigers up 4-2. As the Eagles come to the front court, they want offense number 1. As Ronnie Kidd with the ball. Moves it to the left side. Drops it inside to Jones. Goes down. Fires. Good. Steve Jones. We got a 4-4 ball game as the Tigers come back to the front court. Eads with the ball. Comes down the right side. Looking underneath. They got Miller on the low post. Turns. Fires. Off the iron. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by the Eagles as Boggs pulls it off. He gets it out to Jones. Jones on the move with it to the front court. Takes it to the right side of the lane. Wheels into the lane. Fires. In and out and back in.
44.
Steve Jones puts the Eagles up 6-4. As the Eagles pressing, DeWitt moves the ball to St. Clair, and St. Clair moves it to the front court. To DeWitt, comes down the left side, looks underneath, trying to get underneath, just take it away. Slap loose, picked up by the Eagles as Jones takes it to the front court, into the lane, puts it down to Green, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound pulled off by Eads. We got a jump ball. And they'll jump between Green and Eads, I believe, when they line them up. As they're lining them up, it is Green and Eads. As they move in, the official puts it up, tap control by the Eagles. Picking it up, Ronnie Kidd out front with it on the dribble. Starts it to the left side, down the lane. Into the corner to Boggs. Firing, good. Jeff Boggs from 15 feet, pours it in. 8-4, Tigers trail. As St. Clair will bring it to the front court for Princeton. To the top of the key. Puts up the lob shot. Comes off the glass, no good. He had it a little too high for Miller. Rebound comes down to Beckley. Jones with it to the front court. Goes to the lane. Fires. Off the iron, no good. Rebound to Murray of the Tigers. Hands it to Eads. And Mike will bring it to the front court for Princeton. As those teams having a little trouble getting it settled down. St. Clair with the ball to the right side to Eads. Over the high overhead. Flips it all the way across court to DeWitt. Back outside to St. Clair. Top of the key. Back to DeWitt. goes toward the corner. He'll fire from 18 feet. Good. James DeWitt on that little easy flipping jump shot. Puts it in the net. 8-6. Tigers trailing by 2. As Ronnie Kidd takes it to the front court. In the high post. Steve Goodson drives the lane, puts it up. He is fouled. And the bucket,
I believe it's on Murray.
has number 2 on Stephon. Team foul number 2 on the Tigers. And that'll put Dennis Goodson on the line. And he'll shoot 2 shots. And Goodson on the line. He'll fire with the right hand. He puts it up. It is on the iron, no good. He'll have a second attempt. As Goodson will have one more chance. It's on the way and good. 9-6. Tigers trailing by 3. As St. Clair will work it to the front court against pressure from Kidd. Gets it to Eads. Eads backs his way toward the midcourt line. Now they got it to Miller in the front court. To Eads. Eads starts it down the left side. Backs it back out. Gives it to St. Clair. As Jeff to DeWitt on the right side. Gives it back outside. As St. Clair to Eads in the corner left side. As Green gives him heavy pressure. Gives it back outside. DeWitt on the right side. Backs it toward the baseline. He'll fire. It's on the iron. No good. Rebound tipped around. Controlled by the Eagles. Pulling it out there was Goodson. Goodson into the front court. Takes it right down the lane. Lays it up. No good. Rebound tipped around. Comes out. Miller's got it for the Tigers. Miller on the dribble with it to front court. Holds it up to the right side to St. Clair. We got a foul way out toward midcourt.
Looks like it's on Ron Kidd, I believe.
What in the world? Ronnie Kidd fouling Jimmy Miller on the dribble at midcourt. Ronnie Kidd at 6'5", or 5'5", Jimmy at 6'7".
6'5".
Yeah.
Well, I believe they got him on the wrist.
Or down below. I figured they got him about the knee. DeWitt will inbound it for the Tigers on that foul. Foul as they brings it into St. Clair. Gives it back to DeWitt. To St. Clair top of the key to Eads on the left side. They drop it to Miller on the low post. Jimmy backs his way in. Fires off the glass. Got it. 9-8. Tigers within 1 now. Ronnie Kidd takes it to the front court quickly for the Eagles. On the dribble with it out front. And throws it out of bounds. Now, Eads may have flipped that ball loose from him, making lose control of it. And he flips it all the way out of bounds. And it'll be Tiger ball in the backcourt.
That's the Eagles' first turnover.
They've been shooting well, yeah. They've been, as East and St. Clair will bring it to the front court against a Beckley press. St. Clair with the ball still in the back court. Gets it to DeWitt in the front court. DeWitt holds it. Waits for Jeff to come to him. Gives it back to St. Clair. Gives it back to DeWitt. Gives it to Miller on the low post. Firing good as Miller wheeling off that low post. Puts it up and in. And the Tigers go on top by 1. 10-9. As Ronnie Kidd brings it to the front court for Beckley. To the high post to Goodson. Drives into the lane. Fires it off the glass. No good. Rebound pulled down by DeWitt. As DeWitt brings it to the front court. Flips it outside to St. Clair. As Jeff on the dribble with it. Looking now to DeWitt on the right side. Gives it back outside. They go to Eads on the left side. And he fakes that. Now fires off the back iron. No good. Rebound pulled out by Green of Beckley. They've got a 3-on-2 fast break. To Goodson on the left side. Fires. It is no good. And Stephon comes out with it for the Tigers. Out to Eads as Mike brings it to the front court. Full head of steam. Still on the dribble. Now he picks it up. Gives it outside to St. Clair. Jeff looking underneath. Gives it outside to Eads. Eads to St. Clair. Top of the key with it. Eads flips all the way across court to DeWitt. He'll fire off the iron. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Beckley. As Ball comes out with it. Gets it to Kidd. Kidd goes to the front court. As Eads heads him off. Back to Mallard. Now Kidd fires from way outside. It's off the iron. No good. Miller rebounds for the Tigers. Flips it out to St. Clair. Jeff moves it to the front court. To the left side to Eads. Drives to the baseline. Gets the baseline. Goes under. Flips it outside. DeWitt's got a quarter court. He'll fire from 12 feet. It's off the iron. No good. Tipped up. Rebound flipped out by Beckley. As they try to get the fly better and they throw it away. As Green trying to hit Jones. Threw it up there into the curtains. And it'll be Tiger ball. 10-9. Tigers on top with 2:31 to play in the first quarter. As St. Clair will bring it to the front court for the Tigers. Jeff on the dribble with it. To the right side to Eads. Drives the baseline. Trying to drop in the lane to Stephon. Has a flip loose. Picked up by Ronnie Kidd at Beckley. He goes down into the lane. He'll fire. It's on the iron. No good. Rebound. Front four. Pulled down by Stephon. Out to Miller. Miller on the break. Gets it to Eads. Eads got the snowbird. He goes down, lays up and in. 12-9. Tigers up. As the Tigers playing a man-to-man defense. As As Jones with the ball at a high post, gives it outside to Kidd, gives it to Green. Green in the corner, gives it back outside to Kidd. Ronnie goes into the lane with it. Backs it outside to Goodson, firing good. As Goodson hits it from 17 feet.
That's the first shot the Eagles have hit in their last 7 attempts.
As Eads with the ball for the Tigers against the Beckley press. Gets it into the front court to Murray. Murray hands it to Eads as he comes behind him. Mike on the dribble with it. Gives it outside to St. Clair. Back to Eads. Drives the baseline on this side. Goes under. Lays it up. He is hammered. And that foul will be called on Jones. That's number 1 on Jones. Team foul number 2.
Number 14, Gary Edmonds.
And we'll get Edmonds into the ball game for Beckley. And Green will go out. Eads will be on the line to shoot 2. Also coming in is John Price of Beckley.
Yeah, this Beckley team has 8 players that have started for them in 2 previous ball games against Princeton. So that would indicate they have some depth on this Beckley team.
And the Tigers get Ruffles further in to give Stefan a chance to catch a breather. 12-11, Tigers on top with 1:29 to play in the first quarter. He's on the line to shoot 2. He fires the first one, it's good. He'll have a second one. As he's ready, as the official holding the ball, now he took it back from, now they're going to show it the other official. I don't know, are they cleaning it off or? They're not measuring it, surely. Now they give it back to Eads, well, shoot it anyway, so Mike's on the line, he's ready now. He fires. It's in and out, no good. Rebound, pulled down by Beckley. As Boggs pulls it down, feeds it out to Edmonds. Edmonds into the front court. To the right side to Kidd, and he calls for the offense. They want offense number 2. Tigers in a man-to-man defense. As they've got Price low in the corner, right left side, gives it back outside. Now to Edmonds. Edmonds inside the key, works it toward the baseline. Works on St. Clair. We got a whistle on a foul. That's on Jeff St. Clair. As we saw the contact clearly. And on Jeff, that'll be foul number 1. Team foul number 3 on the Tigers. So it'll be out of bounds for the Flying Eagles. As inbounding will be Ball. As he holds it overhead, flips it into Edmonds. Gives it outside to Kidd. Kidd gives it back to Edmonds. He'll fire from 18 feet right side. Got it. 13-11. Tie ball game now with a minute to play in the first quarter. As St. Clair brings it to the front court for Princeton. To the left side to the Witt. James works his way toward the baseline. Now he'll pull up and shoot. It's off the iron, no good. The Witt takes his own rebound. Dribbles it outside. Looking underneath, still with the ball. And now feeds it outside to St. Clair. Jeff at the point position. Backs it out toward the center circle. As Beckley in a zone defense, a 1-2-2, and the Tigers going to pull them out a little bit, looks like. As they'll play it for the last shot. St. Clair way out front with it. As he and Eads working a weave out there. Now Eads has moved to the point guard position, dribbling the ball. And St. Clair moves around behind him and takes it on the bounce. 22 seconds on the clock. As the Tigers waiting for a one shot with 17 seconds now. They'll start to move somewhere around 10 seconds, I imagine. As Eads with the ball left side. Holding it, just holding it quietly. 9 seconds on the clock as Eads works it toward the baseline. Holds it up, gives it to St. Clair to the Witt on the other side. He'll fire from outside. It's off the iron. Tipped up by Serrater. It's on the iron, no good. Tipped up by Miller, no good. And the buzzer sounds. At the end of the first quarter of play, the Princeton Tigers 13, the Beckley Flying Eagles 13. We'll be back right after this.
Now, what number is Steve Kidd wearing? 11?
And back to Raleigh County Armory, the score at the end of one quarter of play, the Princeton Tigers 13, the Beckley Flying Eagles 13. And some shooting percentages in that first quarter of play. The Beckley Flying Eagles just edging out the Tigers as they shot a 43% from the floor, 6 of 14, while the Tigers shooting 6 of 15. And they hit on 40%, while the rebounding went to the Tigers 11 to 6 in favor of Princeton, and the turnovers were even. Both teams had 2 mistakes on each end of the floor.
Well, you'd have to say it was a fairly well played first quarter in terms of turnovers, and Princeton, of course, getting the edge in the rebounding. In terms of scoring, Steve Jones has 6 points on 3 field goals. Goodson has 3 points on a field goal and 1 of 2 from the foul line, and Edmonds has 2 points on a field goal.
As we're ready to go, Miller hits for the Tigers to Eads. Eads holds it, gives it to St. Clair. St. Clair will start the offense. Top of the key with it. To the right side, to the Witt. Gives it back outside to St. Clair, back to the Witt. And they go back outside again. They go around the horn to Eads. As Eads puts it on the floor one time, gives it to Miller deep in the corner baseline. Gives it back to Eads. He'll fire from out there. It's good. 22-footer. Dropped it. 15-13. Tigers on top. As Edmonds will move it to the front court for Beckley. As Edmonds on the dribble with it, holds it up. As St. Clair plays the defense. Moves it inside to Boggs. Drives the lane. We got puts it up good. There's a foul. Offensive foul.
No, they were going to call goaltending on Miller.
Oh, okay. 15-15. Tie ball game.
Mike Eads has 9 points so far for Princeton.
St. Clair brings it to the front court. Holds it outside. Gets double team. Gets it to Eads. Eads on the dribble with it. Gives it back to St. Clair. As Jeff will start the offense. They move it down the right side to DeWitt. He's in the corner. We got a whistle on a foul underneath. Somebody holding Miller in there. Maybe Price. And it is Price. He's holding Miller from getting his position. That's number 1 on Price. Team foul number 4 on the Flying Eagle. It'll be Tiger ball right underneath us. How about that, Bob, for being underneath us? As DeWitt inbounds it to Miller. Miller on the high post. Gives it outside to St. Clair. St. Clair starts it toward the key. He'll fire from 20 feet. It's off the back iron. No good. Rebound pulled down by Edmonds of Beckley. Edmonds on the run into the front court. Gets it to Boggs. Boggs drives the lane. Drops it over to Kidd. It's out of bounds. And we got a disagreement between the officials. Now they say it'll be Beckley ball. Eads wants to jump. Well, the officials going to call it for Princeton.
And they are going to jump it.
They are going to jump it. You're right.
Let's hope they don't jump Mike Eads in there.
No, it'll be DeWitt.
DeWitt and Jones. Is Jones going to jump? You see the one down there?
No, now they're going to make it a center jump, looks like. Miller.
Okay, Miller and Jones will jump. And the tip controlled by the Tigers as Miller tips it to St. Clair. Trying to get it to Eads. It's knocked loose. Picked up by Edmonds. Edmonds with Beckley into the front court. The Kidd. He'll fire from 14 feet. It's off the back iron. No good. Rebound tipped out by the Whip. Picked up by Eads. Mike into the front court with it. Got the hammer down. Ball knocked loose. Picked up by Edmonds as Beckley goes back the other way. And he loads it up and in good. As Edmonds drops it. For Beckley, 17-15. Tigers down by 2 as St. Clair will bring it to the front court. Jeff to DeWitt. DeWitt holds it overhead at quarter court. Now comes down the lane with it. He'll fire from 14 feet. Good. Fine play. 17 all. With 5:15 to play in the third quarter. And Beckley throws the ball out of bounds. Craig, well, I didn't see all that.
Somehow or another, the inbound pass was dropped, and while they were chasing it, trying to pick it up, he kicked it while he was trying to pick it up and kicked it out of bounds. So there were 2 of them chasing it, and one of them kicked it out of bounds.
All right, Tigers go to the offense. St. Clair with the ball, top of the key. Looking underneath. Now he moves it to the right side of DeWitt. James holds it overhead, looks underneath, flips it back outside. Now they comes to Schrader on the wing, left side. Russell drives to the baseline, goes under, pulls up, fires, good. Russell from 6 feet out, puts it in. 19-17, Tigers up by 2 as Ronnie Kidd moves it to the front court. They got Jones on the high, Goodson on the high post as DeWitt forced him way out high, so he gives it over to Edmonds. St. Clair batted a shot out of bounds, didn't he?
Yeah.
You'd be tempted to call that a block, but he didn't knock it down. He just sort of like you were swinging a baseball bat at a...
Well, our angle of approach here, I'm not real sure. You know, that speaker bed got me on that. But St. Clair blocked it out of bounds. So the Beckley brings it inbounds. Jones with the ball, firing. Off the iron, no good. Rebound to Schrader in heavy traffic. Russell clears it out. Gives it to St. Clair. Jeff will bring it to the front court. Works on Kidd behind the back dribble. To the right side to East. Drives toward the baseline. He'll fire. Good. About 8 feet away, and East puts it in. 21-19. Tigers up. As Ronnie Kidd takes it to the front court for Beckley. Ronnie on the dribble with it out front. To Edmonds. Edmonds on the right side. Looking underneath. He's got Jones in the corner. Back to Kidd. He goes across the lane. Gives it to Goodson. Firing. Good. Goodson hits it from about 12 feet. 21-21. With 4:44 to play in the first half. Eads with the ball on the left side. Drives the baseline behind the back pass. It's a wild. Goes loose. Picked up by Ronnie Kidd of Beckley. Ronnie goes down, drives, puts it up. Good. 23-21 as the Tigers come back. Eads in the front court with it. To St. Clair. To the right side to DeWitt. There's DeWitt. Holds it overhead. Looking underneath. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. Back to DeWitt. He's on the quarter court right side. He'll fire from 20 feet. Off the iron, no good. Rebound slapped around. Out front, picked up by St. Clair to Miller. He's out on the wing. Now he'll fire from about 12 feet. Hits off the iron, no good. Russell Schrader rebounding, and he is really hammered by Edmonds, I believe. That's number 1 on Edmonds, but team foul number 5 As Hofberger comes into the ballgame for the Tigers, the Needs will get a breather.
I'm pretty impressed tonight with the Tigers' domination of their own offensive board, as they've been able to put up more than one shot on several occasions.
I thought that was team foul number 5. Tiger ball out of bounds. It went inbounds with Hofberger to St. Clair, firing out front, off the front iron, no good. Rebound, pulled down by Jones. Jones into the front court with it, the Kid. Kid goes under, lays it up, comes across, no good. Rebound, fought for. We got a whistle and a foul underneath on somebody. And it's on Beckley. Is that Edmond?
Number 54.
And that'd be 2 on Edmond.
I'm sure it's 5 this time.
Okay, and Vernon Knight checks into the ballgame for the Flying Eagles. They've really a lot of people in and out now.
Now, Vernon Knight is one of these people that has started for them, although he's only
He
averaging...
started in the Christmas tournament, didn't he?
Yes, he did, although he's only averaging 1.7 points per game on the season.
As Hofberg will be on the line for the Tigers. He'll shoot a 1-on-1. 23-21, Tigers trail with 3:55.
That's cheese.
That's cheese, okay. As John fires, no good. Rebound tipped out to him. As Hofberger fires again, it's off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Beckley. Coming out with it was Goodson. Goodson takes it to the front court. Leaves it for Knight. Puts it up and in. Vernon Knight scores 25-21. Tigers drop 4 off the face. As St. Clair brings it to the front court for Princeton. Directing traffic underneath right now. To DeWitt on the wing. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. To Schrader on the left side. Schrader to DeWitt on the high post. He dribbles it outside. Holds it up. Gives it back to St. Clair. Osberger on the wing, right side, starts it toward the corner. Hands it to Miller. Miller spinning off that pace line. Comes off the grass pad, and it is refouled. As Jimmy got just a hair behind the backboard. He thinks he was shoved. We got a foul fall underneath on DeWitt. That's number 1 on James, and team foul number 4 on the Tigers. It'll be Beckley ball as we get Stephon Murray and Mike Eads back in, and Russell Schrader and John Honsberger will get a chance to rest. 3:17 to play in the first half. 25-21. Tigers trailing. As the official, as soon as he gets the scorebook, he's talking to the scorer over on the far side for some reason or other. As Jones checks in for Beckley, and checking out will be Jeff Boggs. Now we're ready to play, and it'll be Beckley ball. Tigers are going to press. As Robert Green will inbound it for Beckley. As he gets it into Goodson. Goodson gives it back to Green, and Green will work it to the front court against the man-to-man defense of the Tigers. Drops it to Ronnie Kidd. Kidd goes into the lane. Fire just blocked by DeWitt and out of bounds as DeWitt blocked the shot. And it'll be Beckley ball on their own baseline. As Vernon Knight will inbound it. As he pulls the trigger in the corner to Green. Firing from deep out of the corner. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Knight. Puts it back up and in for Beckley. Vernon Knight puts the Eagles 6 points up on the Tigers. As St. Clair brings it to the front court for the Tigers. Jeff to the right side to DeWitt. James looking underneath. Gives it back outside to St. Clair to Murray on the left side. Ball not loose. Picked up by the Beckley Flying Eagles. We got a whistle and a foul. That's on Miller, I believe, because he was contesting Steve Jones for the ball. That's number 1 on Jimmy. Team foul number 5 on the Tigers. And the Tigers are going to want a timeout. So, with 2:48 to play in the first half, Beckley 27, Princeton 21. We'll be back right after this.
Similar to the Greenboro East in a way.
Well, it's similar to the field house down in Huntington.
Right.
And the Armory over at Bluefield.
They didn't do well either place.
We're talking about the similarities of the baskets here, that the lack of background may be affecting the Tiger shooting percentage here tonight. And if anybody got any comments on that, speak now or forever hold your peace.
That sounds like an invitation, doesn't it? The only comment that we were making was that Princeton's lost to Greenboro East where both ends of the court are open. They've lost at the Brush Fork Armory where both ends of the court are open. That's a similar basketball. And the Huntington Fieldhouse where both ends of the basket are open. The other 2 losses came at Princeton, so that theory doesn't hold up for those 2, does it?
Because those 2 losses early in the season before they gelled. So we go down to the brush and paint the back of that backboard solid color. It might work. Anyways, we come back. It'll be Steve Jones on the line for the Flying Eagles, firing a 1-on-1. The first one's up, no good. Rebound to Miller of the Tigers. Feeds it out to Eads. Mike into the front court with it left side. Still on the dribble. To St. Clair, top of the key. They move the other side to DeWitt. Drops it to St. Clair, top of the key, looking underneath on the dribble. 2-3 zone defense by the Flying Eagles. As St. Clair to the Witt. Back to St. Clair, to the wing on the other side to Stephon. They double team him. And they go back around the east. Firing from 18 feet. We got a whistle to foul. And that may be underneath. Is that on Goodson pushing Miller? I believe it is. That's one on Goodson. Team foul number 6, so it'll be a shooting foul as Jimmy will be on the line to shoot a 1-on-1. Now you know why Beckley's going to run so many people in and out. They're going to take those fouls amongst all of them. Jimmy will be on the line for the Tigers shooting a 1-on-1. As he's ready, he fires the first one. It is good. He'll have a second. 27-22, Tigers trailing with 2:24 left to play in the first half. There's Miller on the line to shoot one more. He fires. It's off the side of the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Beckley. As Knight feeds it out to Kidd, into the front court to Green. Goes underneath. Miller blocks the shot, takes it out of the air. Jimmy's got it. Out to Eads. Eads into the front court with a hammer down. He comes down the right side, pulls up. He'll fire. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Kidder. Beckley throws it out to midcourt, picked up by Goodson. Goodson into the front court, runs over top of Miller. That should be a charge, and they'll call the bucket good. I'm not sure that bucket should be good. He had the ball in his hand when he hit it. Good. That's neither here nor there. The bucket is good. And that foul is called on Dennis Goodson.
Well, I think the continuation of the play holds true on the charge as well as the defensive foul, too, doesn't it?
If the ball's still in his hand, it's an offensive foul.
In terms of foul shooting, these two teams compare in this manner. Princeton's averaging 75% of their field goals, and Beckley's hitting 60 of the free throws, and Beckley's hitting 60% of their free throws.
Well, maybe it'll have a factor in the game. 29-22, Tigers trailing. Miller on the line to shoot a 1-on-1 right now for the Tigers. As Jimmy standing out there patiently, the official comes over now checking numbers on the ball players. They're thinking somebody checked in without going to the scores table. Is that what they're thinking? Because the official come out and looks at each one of the players' numbers, and now he goes back over and talks to the scorekeeper.
You know that there have been, well, over 2 years, there were 2 very close games here that ended in the last second, and that scorer has played a very important role in the outcome of ball games played in this Auburn.
Let's get the timekeeper.
Now, wait a minute.
And now they want a technical. Now, Beckley wants a timeout. As the Beckley coach is coming across. So we don't know really what's going on. We'll try to figure it out. Meanwhile, with the score, Beckley 29, Princeton 22. We'll be back right after this.
Must be.
No, I don't. They haven't charged any technical points yet.
I don't think so.
All right, now, what we've got so far is that goal was good, and the foul was called on Dennis Goodson. And Jimmy Miller will be at the free throw line for the Tigers shooting a 1-on-1. Now, beyond that, we haven't established a thing. Beckley called a timeout to discuss it, and we thought that Steve Jones, somewhere or other, was involved in some kind of a problem, maybe with coming onto the floor without checking in with the official scorekeeper, but evidently not.
Well, now, the Beckley team is located on the opposite side of the court from the scorekeeper.
They're
going to have to wave their hand or something.
Some of them run all the way around the floor.
Yeah, I've seen them go all the way around the floor.
That's a very disadvantageous thing.
Sure is. You've been reading your fucking Wagnalls, huh?
Jimmy Miller on the line now. He'll shoot a 1-on-1. Jimmy ready. He'll put it up the right hand. He fires. No good. Pull short. We got a whistle. Somebody violated the lane. And it may be against Steve Jones. Beckley, so we'll put Miller on the line. He'll do it over again. So now he gets the first end of the 1-on-1 all over again. And you were right, Bob, the other day. That doesn't count as a free throw at all.
I know. The paper didn't count as a free throw either.
Okay, Jimmy on the line now to shoot a 1-on-1. First throw, ready. He fires. It's on the iron, no good. Rolls off the right side. Rebound to Jones. He drops it off his knee out of bounds. And it'll be Tiger ball on their own baseline, trailing by 7 with 2:02 to play in the first half. As the Witt will inbound it. As the Witt standing on the baseline, flips away outside to St. Clair. Jeff will start the offense for the Tigers. To the right side to Eads. Eads holds it high overhead. Now they got Miller on the low post. Works to the pivot. Fires. Good. 29-24. Tigers trailing. We got 1:48 to play in the first half as Ronnie Kidd works it to the front court. To Robert Green. Back to Kidd for Beckley. As Green takes it to the right side, they go to Knight on the low post, firing off the baseline. Good. Vernon Knight. 30 31-24, Tigers trailing. As St. Clair will bring it to the front court for Princeton. To the right side to DeWitt. James holds it overhead, looking underneath. Gives it back outside. We got a whistle and a foul underneath. And that's on 54. That's on Knight for holding, isn't it? Yes.
They said he was reaching behind himself and holding Miller.
Okay. That's number 1 on Knight. That put Miller on the free throw line to shoot a 1-on-1. As those defensive people are keeping hands on Jimmy all night. Coaches told him if he ever gets out of hand reaching you, I'm going to cut your hand off. So the guy keeps his hand on Jimmy. Sometimes 2 of them. So Jimmy on the line now, but he missed a couple of free throws, so he'll settle down and start hitting right now, we hope. 31-24 with a minute 30-25 to play in the first half. As Jimmy hits his first free throw, he'll have a second one. As Miller is a 79% free throw shooter on the year, 77%, I'm sorry. As Jimmy fires the second one, it's good. 31-25. Tigers down by 6 as they'll press. Ronnie Kidd with the ball in the back court. Gets it into the front court as Goodson picks it up. Boggs has the ball, gives it back outside to Ronnie Kidd. Ronnie will call the play. Tigers in a man-to-man to Robert Green on the right side. Back outside to Robert Kidd. To Ronnie Kidd. Ronnie starts it down the left side. Goes all the way to the baseline. Drops it into the lane. It's knocked loose. Scramble on the floor for the ball. We'll have a jump ball. That should be Jimmy Miller jumping against Steve Jones. As Russell Schrader will come into the game for the Tigers.
You know, I would have been perfectly satisfied with a 3-second call on that play because they were in that lane quite a while.
What's 3 seconds?
Well, I haven't seen it here tonight, so I'm not sure it's defined.
As the tip taken by the Eagles is Goodson gets it outside to Kidd. Kidd to Green, firing out of the corner. Good. Robert Green, 33-26. Tigers down by 7 as Mike Eads into the front court with it. To Jeff St. Clair. Jeff way out front. 2-3 zone defense for the Flying Eagles. Schrader on the high post right now as they give it outside to the Witt. The Witt on the right side. Starts it inside. Gives it back to St. Clair, top of the key. Back to the Witt. He'll fire from 18 feet. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound. Knocked around. Picked up by Jones of Beckley. As he works it to the front court. Still on the dribble. As he gets it down low to Boggs. Boggs on the baseline. Gives it back outside to Green. Green gives it to Kidd coming around in the weave. As they've got their slow down offense out there right now, 4 people, so there's only 12 seconds on the clock. We're waiting for the last shot. Green gives the ball outside the ball. Now to Ronnie Kidd with 6 seconds on the clock. Starts it down, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound to the Witt. As James in heavy traffic with 1 second, fires from the other side of midcourt. Hit the glass beside the bucket, but it would not have counted. So at the end of the first half of play, the Princeton Tigers 26, the Beckley Flying Eagles 33, and we'll be back right after this. As Janet brings us a cold drink into the booth up here. You're both playing for the Raleigh County Armory. The halftime score, the Beckley Flying Eagles 33, the Princeton Tigers 26. As Princeton got 13 points in the first quarter, 13 points again in the second quarter for a halftime total of 26 points. Beckley, meanwhile, had 13 points in the first quarter and came back with 20 big ones in the second quarter for a halftime total of 33. Halftime score, Beckley 33, Princeton 26. We'll be back right after this.
Okay, we're back at the Armory, at Raleigh County Armory, with the score 33-26 at halftime. Individual statistics for the first half. Steve Jones came out in the first quarter and looked like he was really going to rip the desk. He hit 3 quick field goals. He's 0 of 2 at the foul line and a total of 6 points. He scored early, but then Princeton was able to contain the rest of the half. Jeff Fox had 2 field goals for 4 points. Bob Bowen did not score. Dennis Goodson had 3 field goals. He was 1 of 2 at the foul line and 7 points. Ronnie Kidd had 1 field goal for 2 points. Edmonds came in. He had 2 field goals for 4 points. Knight came in the second quarter and had 3 field goals for 6 points. Green had 1 field goal for 2 points. And Price had 1 field goal for 2 points. And the important thing there is that Beckley again had 8 players who scored in the first half. They had 16 field goals. They were 1 of 4 at the foul line for their 33 points. Princeton had Jimmy Miller with 3 field goals. He was 2 of 4 from the foul line and 8 points. Mike Eads had 5 field goals. He was 1 of 2 at the foul line and 11 points. Jeff St. Clair did not score in the first half. Stephon Murray did not score, although Stephon is the only Princeton player with more than one foul. He has 2. James DeWitt had 2 field goals for 4 points. John Hansparger, the third, was 0 for 1 at the foul line and no points. And Russell Schrader, the senior, came in relief of Murray and had 1 field goal for 2 points. Princeton had 11 field goals. They're 4 of 8 at the foul line for their 26 points. And we'll be back at the Raleigh County Armory following these messages.
And back at the Raleigh County Armory, the halftime score, the Princeton Tigers finding themselves on the tail end of a 33-26 tally at the hands of the Beckley Flying Eagles. And looking at the shot charts for the first half, the Tigers coming out on the short end of things there after taking a little rebounding edge at the end of the first quarter. The Eagles starting to even things up a little bit. The final tally in the rebounds, the Princeton Tigers pulling down 19 misfires, while the Beckley Flying Eagles pulled down 15 of their own. In the shooting department, the Tigers again talking about the open-end baskets. I believe it's given them problems all season long this year. You remember down at Huntington they had problems. At the North Fork game at the Brush Fork Army they had problems. And tonight they've hit on only 11 of 29 attempts for a 38% from the floor, while the Eagles have hit on 16 of their 32 attempts for 50% from the floor. And in the turnover department, the Tigers committing 6 errors, while the Beckley Flying Eagles having 4 turnovers. And we're about 4 minutes away from the second half tip-off. The score at halftime, the Princeton Tigers 26, the Beckley Flying Eagles 33. We'll be back with more of the halftime show right after this.
I can't wait. Okay, we're back at the Raleigh County Armory, and in a JV game that was played prior to the varsity game tonight, Princeton led in the game in the third quarter by as many as 12 points, the third and fourth quarters, and wound up losing that ball game 57-54 to a Beckley team that really came on late. Frank Jenkins had 20 points, JoJo Harrison 11, Jeff Adams 8. And while Craig's getting his mic ready to play the tape back again of some of the Tiger players, I'll mention some of the people that are here tonight. Janet DeWitt, who is James DeWitt's sister's here tonight. Dr. Jan Atkins is here tonight. She brought some of the cheerleaders. Some standard features at the away games this year: Jim Mitchum, Nelson Kazee, Sammy Barker. I think those 3 fellows always ride together, and I believe they've made all of the Princeton away games. Mr. and Mrs. St. Clair, Tom, and Nancy are here tonight, and I'd like to say hello to Sean, who's probably listening to this ball game back in Princeton. Brenda Miller and her daughter are here tonight. And I noticed John Conley, a Princeton City Councilman, is here tonight, along with Charlie Wright and some friends of Charlie's from Princeton. Some other people that are here that play an important part of it and have promised to help us out on a halftime show are Tia, Tanya, Lydia, Monzetta, Terry of the cheerleading corps. Craig?
Okay, we got some special people we want to take a listen to, and some of the Tiger members, so we'll let them take the show away.
My name's Jeff Schrader, and I'm a senior and play forward on the Princeton Tigers basketball team. My dad, my mom and dad, and your Chief and Brenda. So, my name's Stephon Murray, and I'm a junior this year. I'm a forward on this year's Tiger basketball team. And I'd like to say hello to my brother, Tom.
Hello, my name is James DeWitt. I'm a sophomore. I play forward for this team, and I'd like to say hello to my family and all the friends on the hill. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jeff St. Clair. I'm a junior. I play point guard on this year's Tiger team, and I'd like to say hello to my mother, my father, my little brother Sean, and Joey Winter.
My name's Jim Magic Miller. I'm a pivot. I'm a junior this year, and I'd like to say hello to my dad, John Lambert, and Carl Bay Wright.
Hello, my name is Michael Early. I'm a guard on this year's Princeton Tiger basketball team. I'm a junior. I'd like to say hello to my mom, Russ, my father, my stepmom in Giles County, my brothers and sisters, and both my grandparents.
Hello, my name's John Hansparger III. I'm a senior on this year's Princeton Tiger basketball team. I'm also a guard. My nickname's Cheese. I'd like to say hello to my whole family.
And we're about ready for second half action here in the Raleigh County Armory. Again, the halftime score, the Princeton Tigers finding themselves on the tail end of things. The halftime score, the Beckley Flying Eagles 33, the Princeton Tigers 26. We'll be back with the second half of action right after this. And back to Raleigh County Armory, both teams are out on the floor warming up, and there's the buzzer for them to report back to their respective benches. And we're about ready for second half action. And so I guess we'll turn things back over to Glenn.
The Tigers getting 29 shots in the field in the first half, hitting only 11 of them for 38%. And the Flying Eagles had 32 attempts in the field, hit 16 of them. So they outgoaled the Tigers by 5. They're hitting 50% from the field. And that's a big difference. Even though the Tigers had a little bit of an edge in rebounding by 4, you've got to get it into the net before they put it on the scoreboard. And unfortunately, those teams that play well but don't score don't usually win many games. Is that a fair statement?
That's, you know, I had a coach one time told me that if you could get the lead and hold it, we'll win.
Well, as long as you don't expect you to hold it too long. And I've got a soft drink sitting on the floor right behind you, Bob, so don't kick it on me. As the Tigers coming out, they're ready to go. They got Jimmy Miller, James DeWitt, Mike Eads, Stephon Murray, and Jeff St. Clair. The Flying Eagles out with Ronnie Kidd, Robert Green, Steve Jones in the jump, and the jump controlled by the Tigers as Miller tipped it over top of Jones to Eads. Eads with the ball to St. Clair as Jeff will move it to the point position. To the right side to Eads. Eads drops the ball, picks it up, moves it toward the lane. Now he drops it to Miller on the low post right side. Backs his way in, forces it back outside to St. Clair. He'll shoot from 20 feet. Good. Jeff St. Clair hitting from 20 feet. 33-28. Tigers within 5. As Ronnie Kidd will work it to the front court for Beckley. Brings it up to Jeff Boggs. Boggs firing from the left side, no good. Ball tipped around once, picked up by Jones, put back up and in by Steve Jones. Jones puts the Flying Eagles back up by 7, 35-28.
Number 44.
As the Eagles playing a man-to-man defense now, St. Clair gets the ball to Eads. Eads moves it down the left side. They double team him. He fires on the fadeaway, no good. Murray rebounds in the lane. We got a whistle and a foul. Somebody bumped him. And I was afraid they were going to call him for traveling, but he traveled only because he was bumped. And
Up 22.
foul called on Dennis Goodson. That's 3 on Goodson. And that'll be out of bounds for the Tigers.
Schrader's coming back in.
Yeah, Schrader. Now they buzz him in. They're going to let him. Now the official comes over. Talk with the scorekeeper again. Now they've had a lot of conversations between that official and that scorekeeper. They should know each other pretty well by now.
You know, 2 consecutive years during the regular season, this game was decided on the last shot of the game as time ran out. 1 Princeton lost and 1 they won.
Oh my. As DeWitt will inbound it for the Tigers down the far end. Drops it into Miller on the low post. Goes into the lane. It's taken away. Picked up by Beckley. Goodson brings it to the front court to Wood. To Kidd back to Goodson. Gives it to put the shot up. No good. Rebound tipped over. Picked up by Goodson. Puts back up again. Off the iron. No good. Rebound to Eads to the Tigers. Mike looks to fire it long. Now gives it to St. Clair short. St. Clair takes it down into the lane. He pulls up. Fires from 15 feet. It's off the iron. Tipped up by Miller. Good. No good. Rebound come off the flange. I thought it was going to drop. Rebound comes out to Jones with Beckley. They come into the front court with it to Goodson. He puts it up and in. Goodson running. 37-28 as the Tigers drop off the pace by 9 big ones. As up court was it, St. Clair to DeWitt. DeWitt firing from 25 feet. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Miller. Jimmy puts it on the glass. He is fouled, and that should be Goodson again, I believe.
As the one thing I noticed, the Tigers almost got themselves into a running game with the Eagles, and I think that's one thing you want to avoid when you're going against Beckley.
And that foul was against Goodson, his 4th, the second team foul on the Flying Eagles. As we'll get John Price, see him coming all the way down the end of the court to check in. That's an unhappy situation, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Now, at other schools like Mullins, the players would just wave at the score.
Well, they give him a buzzer or something. So Miller on the line to shoot the free throws. He fires. It's good. He'll have a second.
Of course, though, you can't feel too sorry for Beckley since they're the home folks and have the right to set it up the way that
they
desire.
Well, on the other end there if they wanted to. There's no spot for them. They just don't like to be over away from their cheering section, I guess. 37-29. Tigers down by 8. As Miller on the line to fire one more. He puts it up, and it is no good. Rebound tipped out to Miller. I think it was tipped out by Eads. As Miller gives it to St. Clair, gives it back to Jim. He's way out on the wing. Back to St. Clair. Fires the top of the key. It's off the flange. No good. Rebound. Fought for. Schrader's got it for the Tigers. Takes it to the corner. Holds it up. Gives it to DeWitt. James on the dribble with it to St. Clair. St. Clair top of the key. They'll start the offense. Against the 2-1-2 zone by the Beckley Flying Eagles. To Eads on the right side. Goes to the baseline. Tries to drop it outside the Miller. It's knocked loose. Picked up by Beckley. Green comes out with it. Into the front court. St. Clair heads him off. as Green picks up the dribble, and he gets help out there from Jones. Jones gives it to Ronnie Kidd, and Kidd will start the offense. Behind the back dribble out front. Down the right side with it to Boggs. Boggs into the corner to Jones, firing good.
And back to Raleigh County Armory, the Princeton Tigers find themselves trailing 10 points, 39-29. So far in this third period of play, they appear to be back on the right track. They hit their first shot, but they missed their last 6 in a row. So they're only hitting at 14% in this third period. They're going to have to liven things up. They expect to head back on the comeback trail here.
5:15 to play in the third quarter, and Bob, the Tigers are not shooting well at all.
No, they're not. And a lot of things that usually go well for them are not going right. Jimmy's had a couple of, I almost thought they were offensive goaltending because the ball's been in the cylinder and he's had his hand up on it, and it just bounces out on him. So things are not going well for Princeton so far in this ball game.
So Robert Price on the free throw, John Price on the free throw line for the Beckley Flying Eagles. Fires the first one up, it's no good, off the flange. He'll have a second attempt. As Price settling down, he fires with the right hand. It's on the way, that's good. 40-29, Tigers trailing. As the Flying Eagles will press, as Eads with the ball, takes it down the right side. And backs it into the front court. Looks for help, gets it from St. Clair. St. Clair to DeWitt on the left side. James to Miller on the low post. Goes into the lane. Fires. No good. Tipped by Miller. Good. We got a whistle on a foul, and that foul could well be on Boggs.
Basket 40.
That's right. It is.
Jimmy Miller. Foul.
As Boggs fouled him. That's number 1 on Boggs. Team foul number 3 on the Beckley Flying Eagles. 40-31. And Miller on the line to shoot 1.
To the line for the Tigers. Number 40, Jimmy Miller.
As Jim will fire with the right hand. And he's ready. It's up and good. 40-32. Tigers within 8. As they will press. This Kid in the back court with it. Gets into the front court to Green. Green brings it down. As St. Clair intercepts the pass. As the Tigers go back. St. Clair into the front court. Got help from Miller. Starts it into the lane. Goes down. Puts the shot on the glass. Good. And he is fouled. And Beckley wants a timeout. And it was a foul on before he breaks. The bucket was good. And the foul's on Robert Green, is that what he said?
He made the signal, but I couldn't. It is on Green. It is on Green.
It's on Green, 3-0, okay. So the foul's on Robert Green. That's number 1 on Robert. Team foul number 4 on the Flying Eagles. St. Clair will be on the line. So with 4:49 left to play in the third quarter, Beckley 40, Princeton 34. We'll be back right after this.
I'd like to remind you you're listening to tonight's game over the airways of WAEY in Princeton, West Virginia.
As Jeff St. Clair on the line for the Tigers, shoot 1. Jeff's an 80% free throw shooter for the Tigers. 40-34. Jeff puts it up good. 40-35 now. With 4:49 to play in the third quarter, and the Tigers will press. As Eagles get it into Edmonds. Edmonds in the back court. Runs over Miller. No call. Gets it in the front court to Price. Coming down floor with it. Throws it out of bounds. And the press calls the turnover again. As Miller's holding his back up there. I think he hit that floor kind of hard. He's rubbing it. He says he's still rubbing right out of the 0 on that 40. As the Tigers come back to the offense now. St. Clair takes it right across the center stripe to the left side to DeWitt. DeWitt gives it back outside to St. Clair. Looking underneath, gives it back to DeWitt. And he'll fire from 20 feet. It's good. 40-37. Tigers within 3 now with 4:26 to play in the third quarter. As Kidd gets the ball into the front court for Beckley. Into the lane with it to Price on the left side. Takes the shot. Gives it back to Kidd. As Ronnie on the dribble with it way out front. They want offense number 2. To Edmonds. Edmonds moves it to the far side. Now gives it back to Kidd. As Kidd with the ball quarter court. Gets it to Boggs. He'll fire from the corner. Good. Jeff Boggs. 42-37. Tigers down by 5. As St. Clair takes it to the front court for Princeton. Schrader moves to the high post. To Eads on the wing left side. Fakes the shot. Now he fires. Off the iron, no good. Miller rebounds on the baseline. Fires. Got it. 42-39. Tigers down by 3. As Kidd brings it to the front court for Beckley. Gets it to Edmonds. Edmonds down the left side. To Boggs, firing off the iron, no good. We got a whistle and a foul underneath, and it is on Jones, I believe. Steve Jones. And if it is, that's number 2. Let's make sure it is first off.
Foul on the Eagles, number 44.
It is. That's number 2 on Jones and team foul number 5, so that puts the Tigers in the bonus. And we'll have James DeWitt on the line for the Tigers. 42-39. Tigers down by 3. DeWitt on the line to shoot a 1-on-1. We got 3:36 to play in the third quarter.
We understand he's known at home as brother.
That's what Janet says anyway. DeWitt fires. Good. He'll have a second attempt. 42-40. Tigers down by 2. As DeWitt looks, fires with the right hand. It's good. 42-41. Tigers within 1, and they'll press. As Edmonds with the ball in the backcourt gets it to Boggs. As Boggs dribbling with it, throwing it up court to Jones. Goes down. He is fouled by Miller. Puts the bucket up and in. Good. As Miller fouled him on the drive. And that's foul number 2 on Jimmy. Team foul number 2 on the Tigers. But it'll be a shooting foul for Steve Jones. He'll shoot 1. 44-41. Tigers trailing by 3. And wait a minute, they're going to put Jeff Boggs on the free throw line.
Trailing by 5. Foul on Jimmy Miller. Second personal, first team foul. To the line, Eagles number 42, Jeff Boggs.
Well, did Boggs or Jones get that field goal?
I thought it was Jones, but it had to be Boggs. As Boggs on the line to shoot 1. 44-41. Tigers trailing by 3. Boggs fires. It's good. 45-41. As the Tigers come back to the offense, St. Clair takes it right down the center court. To the right side to the DeWitt. Works it toward the baseline. Fakes the shot, and now he does fire. Good. James DeWitt pulls the Tigers within 2. 45-43. As Jones brings it to the front court for Beckley. Drives with it to the left side. Leaves it for Kidd. Kidd directing traffic out front, saying we want offense number 2. As the Tigers in a 1-3-1 zone. As Boggs drops it underneath the Jones, is knocked out of bounds. We got a foul on DeWitt. Well, just out of bounds. Just out of bounds. DeWitt knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Beckley ball. Boggs will inbound it. As he drops it into Jones, he fires from out front. No good. Rebound. Swept to the floor. Controlled by Jimmy Miller. Out to Eaves. Mike into the front court with it for Princeton. To St. Clair. Jeff on the point position now. To the left side to DeWitt. Jeff is... Here's the back, and DeWitt foul from behind by Ronnie Kidd. That's number 2 on Kidd. Team foul number 6 on Beckley. That'll put DeWitt on the line to shoot a 1-on-1. 45-43. And DeWitt on the line to shoot a 1-on-1. This booth feel like it's shaking you guys.
Well, it's suspended on cable, so it's very likely, yeah.
As DeWitt's a 73% free throw shooter on the year. And we'll see if we can improve on that. As DeWitt ready, he fires. It's good. 45-44. Tigers within 1. We got 3. Is that a 2 or 3? 2:45 to play in the third quarter. I got to look around the PA speakers to see the scoreboard. As DeWitt fires again, it's good. Now we got a tie ball game. Beckley ball. As Ronnie Kidd with the ball on the backcourt. Works around Schrader. Gets it to Jones. Slips it up too good, and we got a charging foul back there on Jones. Now, he didn't have the ball, so that should be a shooting foul for DeWitt. That's number 3 on Steve Jones. As that 3 through the pass, he continued forward and run into James DeWitt.
Yes, sir. They're going to let DeWitt shoot it.
As DeWitt will go to the line to shoot a 1-on-1. As Murray gets off the bench to come in for the Tigers. We got 2:39 to play in the third quarter. And Princeton on the free throw line with James DeWitt to shoot a 1-on-1.
Yeah, there's one person back in Princeton I'd like to send our best wishes to, and that's Bill Harmon. He ended his career with Princeton.
As the fires, it's good, and we certainly do wish to remember Bill, a very important member of the team. Ralph and I was talking to him right before the game, and Ralph was talking about the flu, and he said, yeah, but you can stand the flu for one game, even you lose a starter all season. And that's what happened to the Tigers. They lost the services of Bill, and they need him very badly. DeWitt hits the free throw, 47-45, Tigers lead now. As Jones comes down, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound to DeWitt in heavy traffic. James takes it out, down the left side of the floor, on the dribble with it. Holds it up to St. Clair, top of the key. To the right side to Eaves. Eaves in the corner, goes to the baseline, fires. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound, fought for, brought out by Beckley. Coming out with it was Edmonds. Edmonds into the front court with it for Beckley. He'll pull up and fire from 17. It's off the flange and good. He bounced it straight in the air and dropped it. 47-47, tie ball game. With 2:07 to play in the third quarter, St. Clair takes it to the front court for the Tigers. To the left side to Eaves. Eaves on the wing. gives it back to St. Clair on the point, and Jeff on the dribble gives it back to Eads. Eads fakes those for the lane. We got a traveling call. 1:56 to play in the third quarter. Tie ball game, 47-47. As Kidd will send it to Edmonds for Beckley. Gives it back to Kidd, back to Edmonds. Edmonds works it to the front court, left side. Gives it to Ball, back outside to Edmonds. Edmonds starts it toward the top of the key, gives it back to Balls on the wing. He drops it to Jones on the low post, turns, fires. It's no good off the iron. Rebound to Murray of the Tigers. Stephon feeds it out to St. Clair. Jeff holds it up in the backcourt, gets some instructions from the bench. Now he takes it into the front court, 1:33, and they're going to hold it outside to pull him out of the zone and maybe work for the last shot. 1:27 to play. St. Clair standing out front. He's picked up his dribble, so now he'll have to have help. He gets it from DeWitt. Now to Miller, way out front. Now to St. Clair on the point. Outside to Eads. Eads standing way over the left side of the court. Back to St. Clair, standing in the center ring. Back to Eads on the left side. The Ronnie Kidd walks back and forth between them. St. Clair with it. Now he moved outside the center ring. Now he flips it back to Eads on the left side.
Not very much trouble throwing it over Ronnie Kidd.
No, it's not. As they flip it back and forth over top. St. Clair with the ball now on the right side. He throws it back to Mike Eads on the left side. Mike dribbling with the left hand 3 times. Gives it back to St. Clair on the right side. Boy. And now back to Eads as Edmonds almost come out for an interception there. Eads with the ball, left side on the dribble. And they go to DeWitt. DeWitt on the wing position right side, way out near the sideline. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. We got 32 seconds on the clock. They're playing it down for the last shot. As St. Clair looks up at the clock and tosses the ball back to Mike Eads. Mike looks up at the clock, sees that 24 seconds, takes the pass to St. Clair, then gives it to St. Clair. Now to DeWitt on the right side. 18 seconds on the clock. 16 seconds. St. Clair with the ball to DeWitt. As James gives it back outside to St. Clair. They go to the left side to Eads. Starts it into the baseline. Goes underneath. Fades away. Fires. No good. We got a whistle on the foul. Offensive foul on Eads. 7 seconds to play in the quarter. Coming into the ball game for the Eagles is Glenn Taylor. And it'll be Flying Eagle ball in the backcourt.
One thing about Beckley, they play a lot of people.
As the inbound pass comes to Balls. In the front court with it to Jones. Firing off the baseline. It's short off the iron. Tipped up by Balls. No good. It's on the baseline. It's no good at the buzzer. So at the end of the first quarter of play, at the third quarter of play, we've got Princeton 47 and Beckley 47. And we'll be back right after this.
Back at Tualatin County Army, the Tigers improving on their shooting percentage just a little bit in that third quarter. They hit on 6 of 15 from the field for 40%, while they edged out the Eagles just a hair in that department. The Eagles hitting on 6 of 16 for 38%. The Tigers opening up their rebounding edge just a hair, 11 to 5, while the turnovers, the Tigers having a little bit of problems there. They committed 4 of the errors, while the Eagles only had 2 in that third quarter.
In terms of foul shooting, which is getting to be an important factor, Princeton is 13 of 18 in the game. Beckley, on the other hand, is 3 of 8 for the ball game.
Well, that's 10-point difference right there.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're ready to go. The Tigers are out there. We got Miller, Murray, DeWitt, Eads, and St. Clair. And it'll be Jones in the jump against Miller. And the tip controlled by the Tigers as Miller tips it to DeWitt. James takes it down the left side. Holds it up to Eads. Eads puts it way outside to St. Clair, and Jeff will start the offense. Jeff St. Clair to Eads on the left wing position. Gives it back outside to St. Clair, top of the key. They're trying to go to Miller on the baseline. It's tip loose. Picked up by DeWitt with quick hands. Gives it to Stephon. Stephon back to St. Clair. Back to DeWitt. Goes to the baseline. He'll fire. It's off the iron. No good. We got a foul on Eads. He went over the back of Vernon Knight, I believe. And that will be number 2 on Mike. Team foul number 4 on the Tigers. So the Eagles will get bonus after that one. After the next foul, it'll be. So Ronnie Kidd will bring it to the front court for Beckley. So Jerry Edmonds, and Kidd has it back into the front court. Ronnie on the dribble with it. Comes to the lane, puts the shot up. No good. Rebound. Tipped around, brought down by Eads. As Mike Eads controls it in heavy traffic. Looking for help now. They double team him. He gets to St. Clair, and Jeff will take it to the front court. Jeff to the right side, flips it back to the left side to DeWitt on the wing. Trying to drop it to Miller. Tip loose. As pass deflected by Beckley, picked up by Steve Jones of Beckley. Beckley brings it to the front court, out to Edmonds. Edmonds on the wing, hands it to Ball. Back to Edmonds. Edmonds comes through the top of the key, holds it high overhead, Now they got Jones in the pivot. He'll fire. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound tipped around. Controlled by Boggs. He'll put the shot up again. He's got it for the Tigers this time. As Eads hands it to St. Clair. Jeff takes it to the front court. 47-47 tie ball game. 5:40 to play in the ball game. St. Clair with the ball, top the key. They got Miller loose on the low post, puts it up and in. On a fine pass from St. Clair. 49. Did I say as Miller's on that low post too? I don't know who said. St. Clair, a good pass to Jim, and he puts it in. 49-47, Tigers up. As Beckley in the front court with it. Boggs in the corner, right side to Edmonds. Edmonds goes toward the key, gives it back to Boggs on the baseline. Outside to Edmonds again as the Tigers into a 2-3 zone right now. As they get Kidd coming into the lane, firing. Ronnie Kidd ties it up, 49-all with 5:04 to play in the ball game. Jeff St. Clair to the offense for the Tigers against the 2-3 zone. 6 minutes. Is it 6? 6. Okay, 5:55 now. Is Murray with the ball for the Tigers down low. Fires off the iron, no good. Miller trying to rebound, has it picked loose. Picked up by Beckley. Out to Ronnie Kidd. We got a traffic jam. Kidd's on the floor, and the Tigers got the ball. I don't know what should be called, but maybe something. Maybe nothing at all. Anyway, St. Clair with it now for the Tigers. As Jeff to the left side to James DeWitt. Looking underneath. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. To Stephon on the wing right side. Feeds it right back. As Miller working on the low post, but they're collapsing on him pretty well back here. Eads with the ball on the wing. Now they go to Miller on the lob. Tips it up, no good. Rebound pulled down by Beckley. As Knight pulls it down. Gets it out to Ronnie Kidd. Ronnie into the front court with it. Starts it toward the key. Into the lane. Fires. No good. Rebound. Tipped out of bounds. It'll be Princeton ball.
You know, one thing that I've noticed, when Princeton has the ball down the north end of the court and the Beckley player comes to check in, they'll cut the corners over on both ends. So what you actually have is 6 Beckley players on the court at one time.
As St. Clair takes it to the front court for the Tigers. To the left side to East. As Mike gives it back outside to Jeff. To the win on the right side. We got a whistle and a foul underneath, and that should be Jones holding Miller again. Boy, he's had him all night. And it is 4 on Jones. Now, Goodson and Jones both has 4, don't they, Bob?
44. Yes, they do.
And that'll put Miller on the line to shoot a 1-on-1. We got a 49-49 ball game. What's that time, Craig? I can't see it. 4:56. 4:56 left to play in the ball game. And we'll have Jimmy Miller on the free throw line for the Tigers. He'll shoot a 1-on-1. As Jimmy's on the line and ready. He'll put it up with that right hand, of course. It's on the way. And it comes off the right side, no good. Rebound to Jones at Beckley. Jones dribbles into the front court to Ronnie Kidd. There's Kidd with it out front now. To Robert Green on the left side, still out front. Bring it down to Knight. Knight gives it back outside the Green. He's looking underneath. He's picked up his dribble. Now he gets it to Ronnie Kidd on the right side. As they get it to Boggs on the baseline. Fires all the way across. Stephon comes up with a rebound to St. Clair. As Jeff will take it to the front court now. Jeff on the dribble. And he looks over the bench, gets some instructions. 49-49. As they're playing it out front like he may be going to pull them out of the zone. But now they start the action. As Murray with the ball on the left wing. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. We got a whistle and a foul underneath. That's on Jimmy Miller. Oh, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. As Miller couldn't get out of the lane in time.
I believe that's the first 3-second call of the night.
I think you're right. Tie ball game. As Beckley will bring it to the front court. Robert Green with the ball. Gets it into the front court. And to Ronnie Kidd. Ronnie on the left side. Gives it back to Green on the right side. Starts it toward the lane. Gives it back outside again to Kidd. As Green with the ball firing from 18 feet. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound. Fought for. Tipped around. And tipped out of bounds.
They call it blue ball.
Okay.
Well, it should have been blue ball, but it was knocked out by, I believe, Goodson or Edmonds.
You had Jimmy Miller and Jones lying on the floor there. You didn't know which way it went.
Well, the fellow that knocked it out must have had over there sprawling bodies.
Okay. St. Clair into the front court for the Tigers. The Eads on the left wing. Mike looking underneath. Holds it overhead. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. To Murray. Murray on the right side. Flips it back outside to St. Clair. 2-3 zone for the Eagles. As Eads firing over the zone now. Off the iron, no good. Tipped up by Miller, no good. And we got a whistle and a foul. And it may be on Miller. As Knight with the ball. And that's number 3 on Jimmy. And that's team foul number 5 and the Tigers want a timeout as they want to discuss Beckley thing. So 3:32 left to play in the ball game. Beckley 49, Princeton 49. We'll be back right after this.
Side the head with
Technical foul.
Write that down, take it down to Coach Ball.
No, we missed him. Okay. We've got 3 minutes and 32 seconds left to play the ball game. We've got a 49-49 ball game. Beckley will have a free throw, as I think Vernon Knight will be on the free throw line for them as we get him out of the huddle, as Jimmy Miller just picked up his third personal foul. And by the way, you know, the scoreboard shows us the fouls out there, by the way. Glad I figured that out.
Except that it's not always right.
That's true, because
They only have Mike Phillips one foul.
that scoreboard fell last year, you know. Don't stand under. That dude's weighed quite a bit. I guess they come crashing down on him.
Well, I understand they had to replace several sections of the floor down there.
Well, I'd say give you fallen arches, but it As we bring them back, the Tigers coming out with Jimmy Miller, Stephon Murray, James DeWitt, Jeff St. Clair, and Mike East. And we'll have Vernon Knight on the free throw line for the Beckley Flying Eagles.
Let me give you a little bit of trivia about a floor like that. A floor like that will cost a minimum of $40,000 for a wooden.
Is that with or without wax?
That's without. Wax is extra.
That's Knight ready to fire now. He fired. It's no good. It almost came up an air ball short, but it came off the front lip, and Stephon grabbed it for the Tigers. Gets it out to St. Clair. Jeff takes it to the front court. To the point position. They pull Miller to a high post now. As DeWitt takes it down the left side, gives it back outside to St. Clair. Trying to get it to Miller on the high post. There's a knock loose. Picked up by East. Goes to the baseline. Fires. It's in the iron. No good. It went in and come back out. Rebound. Comes out to Green. Green firing down court. He is fouled by St. Clair. As Boggs actually pulled the rebound.
That was
Green.
Eads on the foul.
Is that Eads on the foul? We're up looking down on top of it. Sometimes I don't recognize the top of their head.
Yeah,
it was Eads. It's Mike's third foul. And that will put Robert Green on the free throw line for Beckley. As Green is a 63% free throw shooter on the season. And he'll fire the first one. It is no good off the flange. He got back iron and flipped it against the glass, looks like. Come out. He'll get a second attempt. We got 3:06 to play in the ball game. Tie ball game. If Green fires, good. Beckley goes on top 50-49. As St. Clair will take it to the front court for the Tigers now. Goes right across the center ring to the left side to DeWitt. James dribbles once, trying to get it to Miller. They got Miller on the low post. He's got the bucket. 51-40, 51-50. Tigers up by one with 2:49 to play. Ronnie Kidd with the ball into the front court to Jones. Jones tonight gives it back to Jones. Starts it toward the lane. Gives it back to Kidd outside to the right side to Green. Comes to the lane with it. Holds it up. He'll fire now from 17 feet. It's no good. We got a whistle and a foul. Somebody really got squeezed.
I believe it's on Stephon Murray.
No, I believe it's on 54 of Beckley.
No, they're saying this end of it.
Foul number 34.
It is on Stephon. You're right. And that'll put Vernon Knight on the line. That's number 3 on Stephon.
Two strikes for the Eagles.
Stephon had him in a squeeze pretty good right there, I thought. As Knight shooting 56%, 36% on the year from the free throw, so maybe Tigers be alert to this one. Come on with it as he fires. It's no good. Rebound put back up by Jones, no good. Rebound comes down to Boggs. He's underneath. He puts it up, no good. Rebound tipped out, and now finally St. Clair's got it in heavy traffic. They maul him. He finally keeps the ball and starts it up court, and now the Tigers want a timeout. That ball, they had every shot at it. So the Tigers want a timeout with 2:22 left to play in the ball game. Princeton 51, Beckley 50. We'll be back right after this.
I don't think Princeton will win this game up here. Playing this.
Yeah, they can.
I'm not there, Rod.
All right, now we're on the air. You want to keep that debate going?
No. We forgot to ask Mike Elmore for prediction prior to the game tonight.
I'll holler at him and ask him if Beckley too.
Oh, well, Rod did give us one. 2:22 to play the ball game. Preston leading Beckley 51-50. And the Preston Tigers have got the ball out of bounds at midcourt. Now, will they spread the offense out, Jeff or Bob, and try to draw the foul or go for the last shot? Or they don't even have to take a shot if they'll let them keep it long enough.
Well, I think they will slow this ball down. I think they will try to control it.
Try to keep St. Clair with the ball so they can get a foul.
You want to avoid a running game with the Beckley Flying Eagles, that's for sure.
That's okay. Inbounds pass to St. Clair. He goes in the front court. Works on Kidd. Gets it to Eads. Eads on the wing right side. Looking underneath. Dribbles one time. Now picks up the dribble. Gets it back to St. Clair. And Jeff. way outside, working on Kidd. To DeWitt. DeWitt on the right side. We got a whistle underneath. Is somebody holding? And
Miller. Somebody holding Miller.
Vernon Knight, I believe, is impeding Miller's path across that lane. That's number 2 on Knight. Miller will be on the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 2:05 to play in the ball game. Princeton 51, Beckley 50.
Well, this is unusual. Jimmy's hitting, averaging about 78% of his foul shots, 77%. And tonight he's hitting right at 50%.
All right, Jimmy ready on the line now. He fires with the right hand. It's good. He slid it down the right side of the bucket. He had it off the right a little bit, but he got into the net, boy, and that's what counts points. They don't ask you how, they say how many, I guess. 52-50, Tigers up by 2. As Miller on the line, he fires again. That's good. 53-50, Tigers up by 3, and Ronnie Kidd runs into the front court with the ball for the Beckley. To Robert Green on the right side. Back to Kidd, 1-3-1 zone for the Tigers. Into the corner with it to Jones. Aziz holding him out, wouldn't let him back his way in. Gives it back outside to Kidd. Now back to Jones. He fires over a screen from Knight. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound ball for him. James DeWitt cleared way over top of Green and Boggs and cleared it out of there. DeWitt with the ball. They double team him. He gets help from Miller. Jimmy dribbling with it into the front court. Holds it up, gives it to Jeff St. Clair. He says we want offense number 5. Puts it on the dribble, starts it down the right side, then the Tigers will spread it out. DeWitt with the ball out on the wing. Comes across top of the key, goes down the lane, lays it up and in, good. 55-50 with a minute 24 to play.
Offense number 5 means DeWitt layup.
It means spread it out. It gets 5 positions as it. Beckley comes back. Boggs with the ball. To Kidd. Dropping it to Jones, just not loose. Miller's got it for the Tigers. As the Tigers come up with a big turnover right there to St. Clair. A minute 10 to play in the ballgame. Tigers up by 5. St. Clair into the front court with it. Gets it to Eads. Eads and Green fighting over this, knocked out of bounds, and it's Tiger ball. And boy, Green was all over Eads, wasn't he?
Yes, it was, but really, Eads knocked the ball out of bounds. I don't think the official could see it.
Well, but they gave him a saddle, he'd have rode him. He could have got a foul. St. Clair with the inbounds pass. Behind the back dribble into the front court. Behind the back dribble, going to go around Kidd. Trying to throw it underneath. It slips away. Picked up by Beckley. Out to Kidd on the run with it. Goes under, and Eads really hammers him. And Ronnie Kidd lying down there beside the lane. That's number 4 on Mike. If Mike says if he's going to get 2 points out of that, he's going to get him from 15 feet away. And we've got a timeout. So with 50 seconds to play in the ball game. Princeton 55, Beckley 50. We'll be back right after this.
I'll tell you what, they're
probably shooting better from the field than from the free throw line. All right, we got 50 seconds left to play in this ball game. Princeton 55, Beckley 50, and Ronnie Kidd will be on the free throw line for Beckley. And he's a 69% free throw shooter. And Bob says, boy, you know, Beckley only hitting 61% of their free throws. That's lousy.
You know,
they'll probably hit 6 in a row.
I know, and I just knocked out all the wood I could find, and I hope that doesn't stand up.
We're not knocking on this press box too awful much here.
On the season, they are not, or have not been, a good foul shooting team. That's not to say they're not going to turn that around right here.
All right, 55-50. Tigers up by 5. Ronnie Kidd on the line for the Flying Eagles to shoot 2 shots. Ronnie's ready. He'll fire with the right hand when he gets ready. He's spread out. So Kidd ready to fire again. As he sits calmly and looks, and now fires. It's good. 55-52, and Beckley will press. DeWitt with the ball. Gets it into Eads. He's in the backcourt. They'll double team him. He's on the dribble. And it's put loose. Picked up by Jones. Puts the shot up. Miller blocked it. Took it out of the air by Boggs, and he is fouled by somebody.
Hansberger.
As Hansberger into the ball game, you're right. 55-52 with 42 seconds to play. And that's on Hansberger. That's number 1 on John. And that will put Jeff Boggs on the free throw line for Beckley. And he'll shoot a 1-on-1.
Now, on a press like that, there should be somebody open deep for Princeton, shouldn't there?
Yeah, but if you got that guy in front of you in the hands, you can't seem to get him there. There's not a big man to throw it, isn't it? Boggs on the line now. He'll fire with one. With a 1-on-1, he put the first one up. It is good. He hung it all over the iron, but finally dropped it in the
Eagles, with all that speed, are very effective pressing ball for him.
Jones with one more. 55-53. Tigers up by 2. 42 seconds to play. As Boggs hits the second free throw. They're within 1 now, and they're pressing. He takes the inbound pass from DeWitt. And we got a whoop on a foul on Green in the backcourt as he pushed Eads all the way out of bounds. He's sitting on the apron right now of the floor. Now he's up and moving down floor.
Now, it looked to me like Mike was trying to get enough room so he could bounce the ball off of Green to get down the bounds because he was really trapped.
He was. They had him in the corner. And he was trying to be real heady and bounce the ball off of the guy's foot or leg to get it out of bounds, and he couldn't do that because they fouled him, and then Green finally just pushed him out of bounds. So, 55-54, Tigers up by 1. 38 seconds to play in the ballgame. He's on the line for the Tigers. He'll shoot a 1-1. Has Mike ready. He fires. It's on the iron good. As he slaps his hands, he got front iron, flipped it over to the flange, and it dropped in. 56-54, Tigers up by 2 now as Mike ready once more. He fires. It's good.
Now you don't give up a 3-point play.
As Kidd with the ball in the backcourt for Beckley. Brings it to the front court. Bounces off his foot, but he picks it up. Gets it to Robert Green right side. The ball in the corner. Firing out of the corner. Good. As Stephon inbounded to Eves. He's suddenly trapped in the corner again. Gets it back to St. Clair. Loses it out of bounds. 23 seconds to play. Princeton 57. Beckley 56. The Tigers want a timeout. So the Tigers 1 point up, but Beckley has the ball. We got 23 seconds to play in the ball game. We'll be back right after this. We're red lights.
I'd rather trust those lead lights than that timer.
All right, Tigers got a 1-point lead. We got 23 seconds left to play, but Beckley's got the ball on the baseline out of their own bucket. Now, Bob, tell me about this last second stuff.
Since I said that Beckley was not a good foul shooting team, they've hit 4 in a row, so I'm not saying anything about anything.
All right, Tigers come back. Now, they'll have James DeWitt, Mike Eads, Stephon Murray, Jimmy Miller, and Jeff St. Clair. As Beckley comes out, they'll have Vernon Knight, Jeff Boggs, Steve Jones, Robert Green, and Ronnie Kidd. And Boggs will inbound it for them. On the baseline, they'll put it on the right side of the lane. And I would think they'll go to Jones.
Jones or Boggs? Boggs has hit a couple.
Well, Boggs will throw it in. And look for Jones to put it up. As Boggs ready. And he does. Flip it out to Jones. Just tipped loose by James DeWitt. Picked up by Eads. Tigers with the ball. He's fouled in the backcourt. Eads is fouled by Boggs, I believe. And DeWitt made that play. That's number 2 on Boggs.
I don't believe that was in the Eagle game plan there. No, that's...
As James DeWitt made that play, he just refused to let that ball get over top of his hand to Steve Jones, and it went up. DeWitt had that big hand on it, flipping it back, and when it hit the floor, Eads had hold of it, boy. He said, that's mine. 20 seconds to play. Mike Eads on the line for the Tigers now. Mike fires. Good. He'll have a second to 10. 58-56. 20 seconds on the clock. Tigers up by 2. As Eads ready to fire again. He's got the ball. He puts it up with the right hand. It's on the way. It's good. 59-56. Tigers up by 3 as Kidd brings it to the front court for Beckley. Brings it down, throws it to the lane. Fires from the lane. Good. And Beckley wants a timeout. But Princeton's already got the ball on bounds. Now they call a timeout. All right, 11 seconds to play in the ball game. Princeton 59, Beckley 58. We'll be back right after this.
So he ought to be supposed to be official.
Okay, now we got all that straightened out and that war straightened out. What do you got to say about it?
We'll let Craig answer that.
We got 12 seconds to play. Princeton 59, Beckley 58.
Well, we did put a second back on the clock, didn't we?
They did. They put a second back on there. 12 seconds on the clock now rather than 11.
Well, we didn't have it all straightened out.
Well, there we are. Now, Princeton will have the ball out of bounds. Now, the ball's got to touch something in bounds before the clock starts.
And I believe we're going to get John Hansbarger III in the ball game.
I think you're right.
Cheese. And I'm glad this is the next to last ball game because these fellows get any more nicknames. Between Mike, Earl, Clyde, Eads,
And brothers.
and Magic,
In the third.
it might take us a while to say who scored the basket or who got called for the foul.
All right, 59-58 as Tigers come out with St. Clair, Eads, DeWitt, Hansbarger, and Miller. And DeWitt will inbound it. As he drops it into Eads in the backcourt. Mike takes up court behind the back, dribble, go around, Kidd into the front court, killing the clock with it. Eads doing all right, good exhibit. And Green comes over to the rim, fouling. So with 6 seconds to count, 6 seconds on the clock.
Seems like about 10 seconds to me.
We'll have Eads on the free throw line for the Tigers. As Green did the deliberate foul. That's number 3 on Green.
Well, it's a 1-1.
And they're going to give him a 1-1. All right, I get that part. As Murray comes in for the Tigers now, and Hansbarger goes out. 6 seconds on the clock. Princeton 59, Beckley 58. Eads ready to fire. for the 1-1. He's got the first one up. It's good. He got iron with it, but it went into the net. 60-58. Tigers up by 2. As Eads will have one more with 6 seconds to play. As Eads fires. That's good. He got iron with that one too, but it went into the net. 61-58 as Kidd brings it to the front court under a full head of steam. Loses control of the ball. St. Clair's got it, and they're hammering him down there. And the official don't call anything. The buzzer runs out. And Beckley at this point, they couldn't get the foul. Final score of the ball game. Princeton 61, Beckley 58. And boy, that was a Wayne Dinger and Bobby's close ball game. You keep telling us about. We're going to have to do something about that. But we'll be back right after this. Final score of the ball game. Princeton 61, Beckley 58. As the Tigers sends their record out to a sparkling 15-5 on the season. As they come up with a real close one here at the Raleigh County Armory tonight. And they take home a win, and they're one they feel very good about. The Tigers put together 4 quarters of 13 points, 13 points, 21 points, and 14 points for a total of 61 for their night's work. Beckley put together 13 points, 20 points, 14 points, and 11 points for a total of 58. So final score, Princeton 61, Beckley 58. The Tigers be in action this Friday night at Princeton High School as they close out the regular season against the Greenbrier East Spartans. Now, Greenbrier East is one of the only teams to hold a win over the Tigers that the Tigers have not advantaged this year. And so we're expecting to see a real battle royal, and we'd like to have you with us. If you can't be with us at the big game, join us right here at Big Way Radio. We'll be on the air in about 10 minutes till 8. We'll be back with stats right after this.
And back to Raleigh County Armory, looking at the shot charts for this evening. The Tigers, of course, coming out with a victory. 61-58, the final tally over the Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagle. And on the shot charts on the evening, the Tigers, of course, hitting on 38% in the first half, 11 out of 29. In the second half, they hit on only 9 shots out of 25 attempts, and that converted to a 36% shooting percentage from the floor, and gave them a game total of 20 out of 54 for a 37% shooting night for the Tigers, while the Eagles hit, of course, on 50% in the first half, 16 of 32. Then they came back in the second and only hit on 9 of 30 attempts for 30%. And their game total came to 25 out of 62 attempts, 40% from the floor. So again, those shooting percentages on the game, the Tigers hitting on 37% on the night, while the Eagles hitting on 40%. The rebound totals were in the Tigers' favor, slight advantage to the Tigers, as they pulled 19 in each half, a 38 total, while the Eagles pulled 15 in the first half, 17 in the second, 32. So the game totals there, the Tigers pulling 38 rebounds, while the Eagles pulling down 32 misfires. And in the turnover department, the Tigers had 6 in the first half, 8 in the second for 14 total on the night, while the Eagles had 4 in the first half and 6 in the second for 10. So the turnovers a little bit in the favor of the Eagles, as they had only 10 errors, while the Tigers committed 14 turnovers in the game. And again, the Tigers affected, I believe, by the open ends of the floor, as the 3 games that they played in this type of atmosphere at Huntington and the Brush Fork Armory, and of course here at the Raleigh County Armory, they've had problems with their shooting percentage. Tonight hitting on only 37%. Of course, last week they played against North Fork and hit on only 28% over at the Armory. So the Tigers fortunate enough to come out with a victory on this one. I believe Bob's got some individual stats, and we'll be listening to those when we return right after this.
In terms of individual statistics in this game played at the Raleigh County Armory, Beckley had 8 players in the scoring column tonight. Steve Jones had 5 field goals. He was 0 of 3 at the foul line for 10 points. Jeff Boggs had 5 field goals. He was the exact opposite of Jones. He was 3 of 3 at the foul line at 13 points. Goodson had 4 field goals. He was 1 of 2 at the foul line at 9 points. Ronnie Kidd had 4 field goals. 3 of those in the second half. He was 2 of 2 at the foul line late in the ball game, and a total of 10 points. Edmonds had 3 field goals, and he had 6 points on the night. Vernon Knight came in. He had 3 field goals in the first half. He was 0 for 2 at the foul line in the fourth quarter, and a total of 6 points. Green had 1 field goal. He was 1 of 2 at the foul line and 3 points. And Price came in and had 1 field goal, 1 of 2 at the foul line, and 3 points. For Beckley, they had 25 field goals on the night. 8 of 17 at the foul line. They were shooting less than 50% from the foul line, a total of 58 points. For Princeton, Jimmy Miller had 7 field goals. He was almost a magical number of 7 of 11 at the foul line and 21 points on the night. Mike Earl Eads had 5 field goals, 7 of 8 at the foul line, and 17 points on the night. Jeff St. Clair came in the third quarter during the point that Princeton had been down 10 points, and during that stretch he fired in 2 field goals and hit 1 foul shot, giving him a total on the night of 2 field goals and 1 foul shot for 5 points. But Jeff did an excellent job handling the ball for Princeton tonight at the point guard position. James DeWitt, who continues to be very impressive as a sophomore, had 5 field goals, a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line, and 16 points. And I think James's rebounding at critical points in the ball game was very important to the outcome. Hans Barger came in. He was 0 for 1 at the foul line and did not score. And Russell Schrader, had 1 field goal for 2 points on the night. And that gives the Princeton team a total of 20 field goals as compared to 25 for Beckley. Princeton made 21 of 26 at the foul line as compared to 8 of 17 for Beckley. And the difference in this ball game is the foul shooting of Princeton versus the foul shooting of the Beckley Flying Eagles on the night. Glenn?
Okay, the big deal, I think, Bob, the Tigers coming off with 38 rebounds as compared to 32 for the Eagles. It's because the Eagles did out field goal the Tigers by 5, but again, from the free throw line made the difference as the Tigers got into the bonus early. The Tigers now 15-5 on the year, Sparkling year. They'll wind it up this Friday night at the Princeton High School Gymnasium when the Greenberry Spartans come in to take on the Tigers. Sectional tournament play opens next week. The Tigers will be in action on Friday night as they'll take on the winner of the Mount View Beaver ball game. And so you need to come out and see the Tigers as they get ready to wind this season up and take it on back to the sectional, regional, and state tournament. State tournament this year will be in Morgantown. You better make your room reservations early or you won't have one. I guess it's already too late.
Now you can get a room in Fairmont.
Okay. I'm Glenn May, speaking on behalf of Bob Graham and old buddy Cowboy Craig, saying we appreciate the fact that you've allowed us to be a part of your evening. Fact of the matter is, we say thanks so much for listening. Good night, all.